Well, hello, how are you? Uh, I decided to record this class because the other day we were talking about how to refer to time in the past and the future. I remember that we said that to refer to the time in the past, we can use uh, during, for example, during the 1990s, something happened. Yes, during the 1970s, many things happened. Okay, we can use in in 1944, in 1975, in 2020, etc., or in the 1940s, in the 1970s, in the 1990s. Yes, okay. Something happened. Or we can use the expression ago. Over 10 years ago, over 3 years ago, over 3 months ago, yes, something happened. Well, to talk about the future, an event in the future, we can use, obviously, the future with will, yes. What is going to happen tomorrow? Well, tomorrow, something will happen. But I can use, and we can use, the future continuous. What is the future continuous? Will be working, will be playing, will be studying, will be cooking, will be another with ing. So I can say that people will be living in smaller apartments in the future. People will be living in smaller apartments. Or I will be teaching by 2024. Yes, I will be teaching by 2024. Yes. And of course, we can use the future perfect. And what is the future perfect? Will have done, will have studied, will have worked, will have finished. So you can say, oh, by the, by 2028, by 2028, or by 2030, yes, I will have finished the university. Yes, by 2024, I will have finished high school. I don't know, understand? When? But the time expressions are completely important here. I don't say tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, next winter. No. I say, for example, by 2025. By 2025, what will you be doing? Or what will you have done? Yes? For example, we can say, in 10 years, for example, in 10 years, people will be working, people will be traveling, I will be living, yes, in 10 years, in 5 years, in 20 years, I don't know. We can say sometime in the future, sometime in the future, for example, sometime in the future, okay, sometime in the future, I will be learning, or excuse me, for example, sometime in the future, I will have learned how to drive. I will have gotten my driver's license, right? So by 2025, in 10 years, sometime in the future, for example, in less than A century. Remember that a century, 100 years. So you say, oh no, no, no. In less than a century, in less than a century, people will be living, I don't know, in Mars. In less than a century, people will be traveling to Mars, as nowadays people travel to Europe. Understand? So by 2025, by 2030, in 10 years, in 5 years, in 7 years, sometime in the future, right? Or in less than a century, yes? Or obviously that we can say soon. Soon, people will be driving um, electric cars. So soon, many people will be buying electrical cars, right? Yes, because of the environment, because they're going to be cheaper than the others, because thinking about pollution, etc. Yes, well, we can say by different time expressions. There are a lot. We are going to copy some of them. For example, by the middle of the 21st century. Okay. So what happens? What will have happened or what will be happening by the middle of the 21st century? Okay. By the middle of the 21st century, people will be working at home. Everybody will be working at home. Yes. Many people will have, I don't know, will have maybe bought their own, I don't know, electric car. Yes, will have bought. Okay. Well, there are others, but you can use another expression within 50 years, more or less. So within 45 years, within 50 years, people will be doing what? People will have done what? It's a specific person. Uruguayans will be doing what? Europeans will have done what? Yes? So these are time expressions referring to the future. But this is not the time expression tomorrow or next week or next month or next summer. So neither tomorrow or tonight nor next. Yes? So there are other time expressions. For example, by 2025, in 10 years, sometime in the future, in less than a century, soon, by the middle of the 21st century, within 50 years. What is the homework I would like you to do? Well, I would like you, wait a second, to write using your own life, using your own ideas, yes, from 1 to 7, we're going to complete these sentences with what? Oh, the future continuous will be doing something, or the future perfect will have done something. Remember that future continuous will be doing. What I mean? Will be playing, will be cooking, will be buying, will be working, will be studying, etc. Future perfect will have done. So will have cooked, will have traveled, will have finished, will have bought, will have given. Different, the verb do, I mean, is, you can use different verbs, no? Well, something important. Remember that when I say I will eat spaghetti tomorrow, I don't need a comma in that sentence because tomorrow, that is the time expression, is at the end of the sentence. But if I say tomorrow I will eat pasta and I'm going to write that sentence, I need to use a comma. So if you say I will eat pasta tomorrow, no commas needed in that sentence. But if you say tomorrow, comma, I eat pasta. When you write, you need to write a comma. So what's the meaning? For which reason I tell you this? Because in your sentences, you don't have to forget the comma. By 2025, comma, I will be doing something. In 10 years, comma, my family will have bought I don't know what. Sometime in the future, comma, my mother will have found I don't know what. In less than a century, comma, many people will be doing I don't know what. Soon, comma, right? By the middle of the 21st century, comma, yes, within 50 years, comma, we need to use the comma. Obviously, that you can say, I will be studying by 2025, and you don't need to write the comma. But if you write the time expression at the beginning, you need to write the comma. Okay? Yes? Well, this is a homework for you to do. Write sentences about the future with which verb? With verbs in the future continuous or the future perfect with these time expressions. This is one thing to tell you. Something else. Wait a second. Well, I want you, next class, we're going to comment, talk about some questions. And the questions are these. These are the questions that I'm going to show the questions, and then you copy the questions and you try to find an answer for each of them. So the questions are these. Question number 1. What do you think you will be doing a year from now? What do you think you will be doing a year from now? 5 years from now? So it's the same question. What do you think you will be doing 5 years from now? Pay attention to the verb. Will be doing. Okay? The other question. Do you think you'll still be living in the same place? Do you think you'll still be living in the same place? Talking about 5 years from now. Yes? 5 years from now. Do you think you'll still be living in the same place? If the answer is no, don't tell me, no, I don't. Or if the answer is yes, don't only tell me, yes, I do. Do you think you'll still be living in the same place? And I say, no, I don't think so. I think my family will have moved and we will be living in a new house. Use the imagination, invent, try to write complete sentences, no yes and no sentences. Another question. What are three, wait a second. What are 3 things? Yes. What are 3 things you think you will have accomplished within the next 5 years? What are 3 things? 3 things. You have to think. You think, is your opinion, you will have accomplished. What is accomplished? Finished. Right? You will have accomplished within, what is the period of time? The next 5 years. If you want, instead of saying, no, this is a short period of time, and the idea is, I'm very young, so I'm going to start, I'm going to continue studying, I'm going to start the university, so The idea is I will be studying, I will be studying. So instead of the next 5 years, you write the next 10 years, okay? Another question. What are 3 things you won't have done within the next 5 years? What are 3 things, what are 3 things you won't, because the future continuous and the future perfect obviously can be negative. So what are 3 things you won't have done within the next 5 years? Traveling to Europe? Then yeah, this is one thing that I won't have done. I won't have traveled to Europe within the next 5 years, for example. Yes, buy a car with my own money, with my salary. Say, no, I won't have bought a car with my salary within the next 5 years, okay? Try to write more than one answer, invent, use the imagination. Last question. In what ways do you think you have changed by the time you retire? Remember that when we talk about retiring, it stop working. When a person is, nowadays in Uruguay, 65 years old. When a person is 65, if the person wants to work, can continue working. But we can say that that person can retire, right? So in what ways do you think you will have changed personality, physically, okay? Can be psychological, it can be like as a person, talking about values, talking about ways to see life, talking about many things. So in what ways do you think you will have changed by the time you retire? So you say, I will have gained a lot of experience by the time I retire. I will have met many interesting people by the time I retire. I will have made a lot of friends by the time I retire. Understand? Yes? So we have to talk about these questions. That is something that I would like you to write answers, and next class we're going to talk about them. Okay? This is the idea for today. Yes? Right? Very good.